Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Senior journalist Graham Bailey has confirmed that Shakhtar Donetsk now understand that MUDRYK is actively pushing for a move to Arsenal, and they will grant that as long as Arsenal meet their asking price. We're going to be talking about some World Cup stars that Arsenal are focusing on, including Yunus Musa and Enzo Fernandez. And TalkSport are also suggesting that a few players Arsenal should focus on from this edition of the World Cup. We want N'Golo Kante, Barcelona want him as well. And also, if there is a chance that Arsenal can sign Manuel Locatelli, that opportunity might be utilized in January. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast as well. We've already had the Ronaldo conversation, but the question in the comment section comes back yet again. According to Rudy Galetti, Arsenal would love to convince Cristiano Ronaldo to sign for Arsenal in January. So the question is, have you changed your mind about Cristiano Ronaldo? Can he maybe come in and help us with the situation now that Gabriel Jesus is injured? Maybe Ronaldo as a center forward, maybe. Let me know in the comment section. Have you changed your mind? Because we need a number 9 now. We need a replacement for Gabi. Can Ronaldo do the job? 300 likes and let's get into the conversation. Now, first and foremost, Graham Bailey, one of my really senior journalists, one of the journalists that I really respect. I love him. He's done this thing for quite some time. And when he publishes a story, it's a story I'm happy to react to, but it's also a story I'm really happy to tell you about on the podcast. Has actually come out and said that Shakhtar now do understand that MUDRYK is actively and respectively pushing for a move out of the club. They understand as well that Arsenal is the final destination and they don't want to block that move as long as Arsenal can meet their asking price. Now, we've talked about Palkin, the CEO at Shakhtar Donetsk. He came out and said, we've talked to a few clubs, including Arsenal as well, when he was in London. And he said the valuation is still not there. It is about 50-50 that the deal will happen in January. But then he says they're not actually going to stand in the way of the player. If he wants to play for Arsenal, they will sit down, negotiate with Arsenal until, until a break point. And that break point should be Arsenal signing the man or Arsenal failing to sign MUDRYK. So, look, this is quite positive because we talked about it in the morning with Yuri Tillemans. Ben Jacobs saying that he will push for a move and he will try to join Arsenal in January. MUDRYK as well, it's going to be the same story. We're going to be having a player that really wants to play for us. And yesterday, people in the comment section, while we were live in the evening, you told me he has to come because he wants to play for us. And there is that kind of appreciation from the Arsenal fan base that if a player wants to play for us, if a player wants to be part of our project, then definitely they are the right one. So, Graham Bailey, huge update, big update. That actually reduces the friction in this deal massively. Actually, I think the only friction is on the side of price negotiations. I mean, I just want to wake up one day and I'm reporting on the podcast that Arsenal have agreed a price for MUDRYK. That would be absolutely mental. But for now, no arguments, no nothing in terms of in terms of Arsenal and Shakhtar. But the player is 100% sold on a move. Shakhtar have agreed to sell to Arsenal. There is no problem there until this point. But can we pay the amount of money Shakhtar want? I mean, that's what we are all waiting for. Now, according to TalkSport, I really love TalkSport and a few of their journalists, but at times I hate Jason Candy and Graham Souness and all those pundits that actually always love to have a dig at Arsenal. But they've actually said something very sensible here, and they've had a debate about whether Arsenal should sign players that have actually done very well in the FIFA World Cup. Now, this is my opinion. I'm going to do videos about some players that I think Arsenal should sign from the World Cup and probably reasons why. But I think the World Cup is more of a stage for you to, look at players. Yes, it's a tournament and tournament players can be a little bit tricky, but I think it is more time while we are not playing football for us to sit down, look at these players like the likes of Jesper Lindstrom, the likes of Lovro Mayer, those players that we have actually been looking at. I think Lovro Mayer has had a good tournament with Croatia. Denmark, Jesper Lindstrom, probably not so much. Yeah, but again, if you ask me, one of the dazzling sparkles in that Denmark side, again, I would say Jesper Lindstrom had a. I don't think anyone can say they had a very good tournament, but he wasn't really that bad. So I agree with TalkSport. Arsenal should try to sign some players that have actually done well in the World Cup, but this is the catch. These players must have previously been on our radar, number one. And then number two, these players must have previously have been performing well, not just coming up with a very good performance in the World Cup and then, we sign you. No, it doesn't work like that. So Arsenal is also interested in some of these players. Number one is Yunus Musa. I've talked about Yunus Musa before. And I think he's one of the midfielders that if I were to make a World Cup 11, look, I'm not creating content about this World Cup 100%. No. But if I were to make a World Cup 11, I would put Yunus Musa in there over Casemiro in defensive midfield, over Enzo Fernandez in defensive midfield, over Ruben Neves in defensive midfield, over Tchouameni as well in defensive midfield, and even over Declan Rice. I think he was so good for the USA. He was very, very good. So if it's a signing like Yunus Musa, he's done well in the FIFA World Cup, but you look at his performances back in La Liga, he's been absolutely blowing it. He's been absolutely going bold. Okay, so with Yunus Musa, I agree. If Arsenal want him, we can go and get him. Enzo Fernandez, still another world-class talent at Benfica. Actually, if you've seen Benfica play, Enzo Fernandez is not a new name. And if Arsenal really want to get a central midfielder that is going to cost us around 50 million, then Enzo Fernandez is the guy. I don't think Arsenal really going to invest that much to sign a player like Enzo Fernandez. We know what Benfica want. They always want the maximum value out of their players. But look, I agree. But their focus is on the Moroccan side, and they're saying Arsenal should sign players like, Amrabat, players like, Sofiane Boufal from Morocco. This is my only scare with Morocco. They've been very good as a team, but I don't think they've been so good individually. Apart from maybe Bono, the goalkeeper, Hakim Ziyech has also been very good, and Ashraf Hakimi. Right? I think Sofiane Boufal has had a very good tournament. I think Amrabat has had a very, very, very good tournament as well. But I think the magic with Morocco has been the team, not the individual brilliance. It's more like the Croatia thing. They've been so good as a team. And when they fell apart, they actually fell apart as a team. In that game against Croatia, you saw their best defender, Josko Gvardiol, bullied by Messi, right? So they fell apart as a team, and that is why I think anyone who wants to sign players from this Moroccan side, or I don't know if it's called Moroccan or what, you need to be very skeptical and you need to be very careful. Apart from Bono, the goalkeeper from Sevilla, the rest of the players, you must actually give them time to, do the same amount of, good work in different environments. Let all these players go back to their parent teams and replicate what we've seen in the World Cup, and then you can sign them. But we shouldn't sign players only because they've only of their World Cup performance. We will be absolutely disappointed unless it is Jamal Musiala. So let's move on. There is a war between Barcelona and Arsenal on who is going to end up signing N'Golo Kante. Chelsea have quite disrespected N'Golo Kante. And I think that kind of that injury he suffered at the beginning of the season as well, keeping him out of the side, also meant that he's not going to play for France at the World Cup and things like that. But he's one player I'll be glad to take for another 3 years. Like N'Golo Kante, if you're asking me, can we sign N'Golo Kante? This guy is going to be evergreen. I mean, rarely does he pick up injuries, rarely does he pick up red cards, rarely does he pick up yellow cards, and rarely does he lose the ball while in possession. Now, there are games where he played very poorly last campaign. Maybe, for example, I think the Real Madrid game, he was absolutely awful. But we can't just focus on that. We have to focus on the overall game, the overall achievements of this guy. He's a sensation. He is an evergreen player. So Barca want him, and I'm still asking myself, why exactly do Barcelona want, N'Golo Kanté? They have Franck Kessié, one of the really, really interesting midfielders for me. Frankie de Jong. They have Sergi Busquets. They have Pedri. They have Gavi. They have so many midfielders. I just don't understand why they would love to sign N'Golo Kanté. But I think here is the catch. If Arsenal and Barca went in for N'Golo Kanté, we could actually snap him out of the grasp of Barcelona, because I think we can actually convince him of more game time. We can convince him of staying in London, and we can offer him the opportunity of playing for a team that is almost at the same team or at the same level as the Chelsea's actually been playing at. So, I don't know where N'Golo is going to go. But I would sign him. I would definitely sign him. He's old. That means experience, and that means old is gold. I think, yeah. I love the likes of Yunus Musa. I love the likes of Danilo. But having N'Golo Kanté around my squad just means something very, very different. So I would take him 100%. I would actually take him at Arsenal. No questions about that. Now, Arsenal are also interested in signing a young Palmeiras midfielder called Messinho. Messi, then plus the Brazilian, prefix. So he's called Messinho, right? I've not seen him play. I've seen nothing about him, but he's highly rated. Palmeiras have just sold MUDRYK to Real Madrid. They are probably going to lose Danilo. I don't see them lose another youngster, right? Especially in January or even in the summer. I think Messinho could be a player that many clubs will want to sign in 2024, okay? But the negotiations between Palmeiras and Arsenal have not been that bad when it comes to players, so probably we can actually get the deal done. And also the fact that we have Edu as part of our negotiation team means we can sign any Brazilian player we want if we have the money the other club is asking for. Yeah, that's it. And also, Arsenal would also take the opportunity to sign Manuel Locatelli if it arises in January. I don't know what we see in this guy. But I feel like Mikel Arteta is kind of nostalgic about Manuel Locatelli. And look, a central midfielder is on the radar. I agree. I understand. But I don't think we are really, really, really desperate to the extent that we go and sign Manuel Locatelli. He's been out of action for some time, like very, very irregular for Juventus, and not because he's actually injured, but because when he comes onto the pitch, he's not been performing to that expected level. So, in my opinion, if Arsenal can do away with the thought of signing Manuel Locatelli, let's do that. We can get other players. I think there's so many other exciting central midfielders. This would be kind of a panic buy. And you guys know, if you've been following me on this channel for some time, I hate panic buys. It's one thing I really don't want my club to do. Like signing Danny Welbeck on deadline day, that is a panic buy. And I hate those deals. They're just ridiculous. They're total crap. They're absolutely ridiculous deals. So Manuel Locatelli, for me, I would have signed him after the Euros. I wouldn't sign him now. I feel like he's totally a different player, unless Mikel Arteta thinks otherwise. So finally, it's a story from Rudy Galletti. Now, Rudy Galletti is not that credible anymore. I think he was good 1.5 years ago, especially in that summer when we signed Thomas Partey. He was really, really credible. But he's become so sensational. He's become very, very click-minded. I'm sorry to say that, okay? But he says Arsenal would love to try on Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't even believe the story. I think that's the saddest part. I don't even believe the story. I don't see how we are going to compete with these Asian clubs that are willing to give this guy millions in order to revamp and, bring the vibe to their countries, bring the vibe to their national leagues. I don't see how we are going to compete with them. And everything that we stand for in the market, Ronaldo is against that. Too old, no resale value, very, I don't know. Like, he stands for nothing. Arsenal stand for in the market. Like, if you look at what we've done in the last 2.5 years, and then Ronaldo, it is totally the other side. So this one, no. Let's have the conversation in the comment section. I would love to get your thoughts on it. I mean, why not? But no, I don't think. But look, remember I've done a video with I would sign him. And I said I would sign Ronaldo. And you know my reasons. But when it comes to representation of Arsenal and the market values, no. I would only sign him because of desperate times that Gabriel Jesus is injured. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that.